Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Welcome to a best of three Zendikar Rising traditional draft with Travis Semulin Sours. Chat, say hi to YouTube. If you would like to catch the action live, you can visit my Twitch stream at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. I have been mostly forcing green, and it has been mostly working out. We're 5-1 on the day today with green decks. Now, this pack has basically three cards I'm interested in. We did build a very good blue-white party deck with Linvala and got her going, and it was great. It was really good. Balagad Recovery is probably the best green card in the pack, but there's a Deadly Alliance, and I kind of just want to take it. I'm just not interested in the tribal decks unless I get shoehorned straight into them. I think the Linvala deck was good because we noticed that blue-white was open and we couldn't be green and then got past one, not because we first picked it and went for it. I could easily splash it in a green deck, but I think I'd rather just have a solid first pickable removal spell and see where we go. Man, y'all might think I'm crazy because I'm thinking about taking this Rabid Bite over this Blood Chief's Thirst. Linvala's a fun deck. If I could guarantee that we got it together, I'd be happy. So see, here's the thing. This being sorcery speed, it's significantly worse than Deadly Alliance. So if I'm going to pick a sorcery speed removal spell, why not pick one that goes in the color I'd rather be in? Because if green's open, I would love to play green. I actively want to play green things. If black's open, then I have a worse removal spell, but whatever. Like, it's too early for us to be committed to anything. But if I can signal that I'm in green, maybe we can get rewarded in the next pack. It really feels like you're supposed to just assume you're green here. Which is bizarre to me, because I'd have thought I'd be taking these geyser mages. Like, I got that email from Watsy with your top drafted cards in the core set, and to the surprise of no one, it was Roaming Ghostlight. No, there's not much green coming back, but it's giving us an opportunity to, like, hard sell these three people on the idea that you should not be green. You should get into clerics. You should get into kicker shenanigans or wizards. You should get into warriors. Just stay out of my green. So I'm just going to take the green cards until they give me a signal to get in something else. The signal's here. We should be doing non-green things. I still don't think I care. Like, I've been pretty happy to have up to 3 of these in my green decks, and they've been quite good. I must have signed up for them, possums. But they send me one at the end of every format. Yeah, I think I still want to stay green. This is where I'd really like to see a good a good mana fixing card. I think I can let one aesthetic slip through the cracks here. But I'm still not going to. I'm still not going to. Okay, as it turns out, there are indeed green cards to get, and sending this to the player we've been just feeding those spells to is good for us. I need something early, so I'm going to take the Bright Blade. I would be happy with another Scythe Cat or a Survivor. I think these were just low-quality green packs, and people took the fixing out of it. Very happy to see a Nectar Pot. And very happy to see an Arbor Mage. So I feel like there actually was green there. It just... there weren't as many green packs opened. Yeah, that's a good way to say that, Band Geek. The packs were not balanced in their colors. Now, I don't really want to play the Zendikar, but I'm still going to take it just to, again, cut the heck out of green. Because what we've got already is, like, a decent adjacent start to a green-black deck. To be fair, a green-black deck doesn't want this, and Cinderclasm's a unique effect. So I may as well take the Cinderclasm here. But if we end up, like, worst-case scenario falling into green-black, we can make it work. I'm going to take a Disenchant here. I'm sick of losing to Roost of Drakes. But this is set up nicely to be in green. I've already got one splashable removal spell. So if the fixing comes along, cool, we'll play everything. If it doesn't, I'll just play whatever's open and pair it with green. It's looking like it might be red. But even in my green-red decks, I don't want to play Sizzling Barrage. That card has kind of catastrophically unimpressed me. But I'm sure, I can take one here. Yeah, I've been taking Broken Wings about as high as I can get it. The Naturalize effects or Disenchant effects, whatever you want to call them, are pretty good here. Swarm's a pretty obvious pick since we're already in green. There's not any fixing to miss, and really all we're passing here is the bite. If the green cards weren't here, we could probably have a discussion about the Minotaur versus the Vanquish the Wake. But duh, we'll take the thing that plays good with green and lands. Okay, same scenario. If there was fixing here, I would take it. There isn't, so we're going to take Rabid Bite. There's nothing to get me off of just close to mono green here. Because we've got a bum rare, okay kicker card. I do like the Sure-Footed Infiltrator, and you can make this work in green-blue. Yeah, the Minotaur just kills people. I like the Minotaur a lot, but there's a Rabid Bite. I think we'll get our two fixers here, and I can play whatever I want. But again, this is already just fine. What I'd really like is to see Vastwood Expanse, is it? The 4-mana put 2 lands in play card. So here we've got a decision between the Florahedron and the Root Grazer. If the Root Grazer wasn't here, I'd just jam... If the Florahedron wasn't here, I'd just jam the Root Grazer. But this deck kind of actually does want a ramp, doesn't it? Because like we've got a 6-drop here, we've got 2 5s already. Yeah, I think I actually want the 2-mana 1/1. Because I'm not really that deep into landfall. But this could change the way a game plays out. I really like these in conjunction with Scythe Cats, because you can turn 3 of them and then immediately play the 3rd land. And this is where the decisions start to come into play. Right? Because if we're going to like hug black, I can take the Subtle Strike. This is double blue. I'm a little less interested in it. It's late, so if we got heavy blue, we could make it work. I'm not seeing any of the fixing that we'd hoped for. And we've got some indications that red might be open because we saw some late red. I think I want the Subtle Strike. I think I'm going to default to black-green if I don't get anything better. Because like this is just another easy-to-splash combat trick / removal spell. It plays with the counters theme. I'm going to want some card advantage, so I'm thinking about this blood price, but I think I want one more Nectar Pot to feel safe, and then I can find one of those. Yeah, it looks like green-black's probably where we're supposed to be. I don't mind a Skellington at all. Into the Royal is very good. It's probably a better card than Subtle Strike, but I'm trying to situate us into green where I can splash if I get the fixing, and if I don't, we still get into the open color to go with it, which I think is pretty obviously black, so we can take the Skellington. We'd be interested in the Hunter, and I mentioned I want a blood price. I still do. We could play Spare Supplies if we needed to. I feel kind of bad not taking it now that there's another Nectar Pot, and I don't need it. I don't hate a 2/1 flyer. It's just the rest of this isn't really doing much. It's probably going to trade with somebody's 1/1 flyer because I don't have like party stuff. But I don't think I'm playing 3 Nectar Pots currently, unless we get like some life gains shenanigans to go with it, which I suppose we could. Shadow's Verdict is a unique card. Because I suspect we're looking at something like this currently. Maybe even maining the Zendikar. I think I'd like to have this in my size board. We could even conceivably main deck it, but I'm not going to get an opportunity to get something like that again. Cleric could be all right for us. So could the Vastwood Fortifications, but I think I can make this work. I don't really have anything I want to sacrifice, but like some extra insect tokens, something that's been pacified, maybe a Florahedron after I'm at 6 lands. I think green-black's definitely where we're supposed to be. So if I want a blood price, Spare Supplies does most of that. And that, like, it sucks. It's not what I want, but I want a little bit of card advantage for the deck, and I'm just not getting it anywhere else. We could play that guy. I'd really like one more Florahedron, but I'm not going to get it. We don't really want any of these. I could consider playing a Scale the Heights. I probably won't, though. Hey, we got a Blood Price anyway, so I've got 2 card draw spells if we want them. And I think we're pretty much out of trying to do the green play everything shenanigans. I don't think that's what we're looking for here. So like opening a Reclaim the Waste, I'm kind of not interested in it now. If I see one late and we pick up a splash that we're sort of interested in, we can talk about it, but that's just not here. Here for us is looking at Scion of the Swarm versus the Soul Shatter. We've got a surprising amount of ways to gain life here between the Aesthetics and the Nectar Pot. So I think it's certainly playable. The question is, do we think that getting a random big flying threat is going to be better than just having instant speed removal? And I think it might be, given that I've already got the Bite in the Alliance. Like one more kind of crappy removal spell might do it for us. So I think I'm going to take this. All right, the Vastwood Surge is actually still pretty reasonable. It's sort of a divination. It opens up a splash for us if we want it, and I'd probably play it anyway. Like 8 mana, put counters on your team's pretty good. Like I can take this and probably cut the blood price. And Roiling Regrowth says, yo, dog, it's late, but if you would like to just play whatever the heck you'd like out of this next pack, you can. We got a little bit of a scooch moment. Because, like, it's pretty reasonable to take another Brightblade and be happy, but I'm not opposed to this. Because now if we want some card draw or something, we could take it. The Baloth's obviously a pretty big upgrade here. I don't really have anything that's worth splashing, but it gives us the option to bring in something like Cinderclasm or Disenchant if we want it. I think so. I think I'd rather have the flexibility of paying the installment plan here. I've got enough creatures, but I think we want the Baloth. I'm looking to maybe cut the Vampire. Yeah, we've got the ability to splash, but not really a strong reason to do it. So I may end up cutting the Roiling Regrowth. We'll see. I mean, there's enough landfall stuff it could still do something. We could be a little weak to flyers, so something like this might be reasonable. I don't think I need 2 Dreadworms. Geyser Mage is not an easy splash. It's not crazy to splash that. I think I'd play the Survivor, though. This deck is missing, like, 1 power card, because I'm playing a lot of creatures, and they're not very good. But we got a playable deck. I can make it work. Do I want more Nectar Pots with the Scion? I think it would be better than the Survivor, and then we'll just have all of these, all of our 2-drops be that dude. That's funny. We got all the fixing light and just didn't have the things to splash with it. I guess if something absurd wheels, I can consider it. Because I think currently we're just playing the Vastwood Surge for ramp / late game potential. I'm used to getting like one of a Tazim Royal Mage and that being pretty good to splash. And it would be pretty good to splash here. Do we have enough life gain for the Cleric? I think so. We've got 3 Nectar Pots and 2 Aesthetics. Are we putting enough counters on things for that to work? Because I think we might be. And that makes me all of a sudden more interested in the Warrior if we're going to wheel this. Yeah, I think I could actually do something with this. And a Spun a Brightblade. Okay. We can build this in a couple different ways. Oh, that Cleric. Okay, I don't think I want that Cleric. I don't think I'm going to splash a 2-drop. That's the thing with the gold uncommons is most of them really aren't worth splashing. So you end up in a scenario where they're not great. We didn't get any splans other than the Florahedron. which is kind of unfortunate because I like those quite a bit. I think we want to try to build this in a way to maximize the life gain and maximize ramp. So things like the Sky Dancer don't really fit in. I think the Constrictor does. The Vampire's a bit of a throwaway. I could go 16 lands and just count this as a land, but I kind of don't want to. I think I want to play 17 with the Florahedron and consider it a ramp card. So it's really a matter of what we think is going to be our best cards here. I might want to start with the aesthetics and bring the Dreadworm in later. It'd just be a grown up and cut a Nectar Pot, Travis. 2 Nectar Pots and 2 aesthetics is enough to make this do its job. The card I don't want is the Dauntless Survivor, but I feel like with the Constrictor it might actually do something for me. This is a hard cut for me. I don't know what the last card to take out is. What's our creature count at? It might just be one of the clerics. We've got too many creatures. Because this is just a better 5. So I think I've still got enough life gain that this is worth playing. Although it's not really going to shine. It does give us a flying threat. I think I'm pretty happy with this. And I still think I want more green than black, even though I've got a double black spell. Because ideally we'll have cast Vastwood Surge. And be able to get to the double black. What's up, Kenny? Huh. Thank you for the resub, my friend. Y'all spam some cats for Ken. That's a long time subbing, man. Thank you. Hope things are well in your world today. Let's have some doggo slaves. I think this looks okay. It didn't quite go exactly how I wanted. I ended up getting all of the fixing late and never really seeing the bombs to play, but we can give it a go. You got there, man. You got there. You drew the badges, and now you have them. For those that don't know, Kenny was the one that designed the sub-badges we use here. Usually not a huge fan of spare supplies, but using it here to hit our 3rd and potentially 4th land drop, kind of a big deal. Because we need them lands. Desperately. If I don't hit one here, I have to discard to hand size. That would be brutal, so let's just hit one. That needs to be cleared, but not so desperately that I want to throw a 1/1 in front of it. I'm actually a little scared of a Cinderclasm. I'm kind of terrified of a Cinderclasm. So let's not give him the opportunity to use it. I should be able to trade off creatures for this. The other option is to just pause for a turn, but I'm not really ready to do that. It doesn't make a lot of sense to play around in uncommon, but my spider sense is tingling. I'm playing this just because I don't have another option. If they've got one, they've got me here. They don't have it. That's interesting. Well, then we can just force damage with the 5/4. All right. Looks like that worked. I have no idea what was going on over there. So for sideboarding, we really just know that we're up against green-red. That's kind of it. That's going to make the cleric better than the worm. Because the indestructible shouldn't matter, especially if we're on the draw. We'd rather just have the life gain off of it. But other than that, I don't really have much I would change here. Oh, good luck, Kenny. Thank you for stopping by, man, and thank you for the support over the past 4 years, dude. That's kind of nutty. Well, these are the cards they scooped to last time, so let's make it happen again. Hey, we get the exact same start. Fair supplies, yo. That's just a subtle strike waiting to happen. Ooh, better subtle strike. We'll take it. It's a pretty good start. Okay. I can do that. Get snaked, yo. You want to race? I find that perfectly acceptable. Let's race. All right. I'll take that for a start. Constrictor actually did its job there. So what we did was kind of forced our way into green, couldn't get the three color shenanigans going, discovered black was open, and ended up wheeling a pretty good black green card. Bob's your uncle, win the video game. We should be good to go on our Stream Raiders battle now. So let's, I guess these are frogs that we're killing? I don't really know why we're killing frogs, but we're totally killing frogs. Riveting action. And Venus flytraps. You've been doing well with green black. What's your trick? Drop the knowledge bombs upon us. I haven't played green black that often. It's got to be very open and kind of force me into it. But if it is, we're good. Wow, with the kills, go with the assists. A captain's chest for ye all. Extra gold for wallet. Scrolls for go and bossed. I'll collect my loot. It's important. We got frogs to kill. How am I going to kill frogs without loot? All right, it's jungle ambush. I'm ready for battle. You are kind of getting all the loot, wallet. Get 4 feed the swarms, pay tempo. Yeah, people don't seem to be valuing that card very highly. Although, ironically, I don't have any of them here. All right, let's play first. Oh, I hate moles, but that's one of them. If it was green, I'd talk myself into keeping it if it was green. It's not. I can at least do something with this. I think I'm going to let the survivor go. I really don't want to start firing off rabid bites to trade for early game plays. Now, this isn't that bad, but we're definitely down a card, and we're going to be down a card. So we're going to have to recover that card from somewhere. Which may be somewhat difficult. I was kind of thinking they might have a counterspell there. I'm glad they didn't. It's not over yet, man, but I would say things are looking grim for our hero. Big dumb green things can still get some work done, but I think we're about to get out-tempoed here. But, I mean, to be fair, when you mulligan, you do often lose the game. That's why I don't like mulliganing. I don't know, man. We hit a land here. Things start to look interesting. It's a strong rabid bite unless they've got another duelist. Well, okay, never mind. It's still dead. That's what we wanted. I suspect we got a bubble-teed Baloth here. All right, can we get a land one time, dealer? Nice. They're talking about their mono green opponent. They've got Might of Marasa. I may as well make sure we at least kill something. or Spell Shield, whatever. Generic Combat Trick 01. Bounce my 5/4? You do. Neat. There's our card advantage if they block this. So we've kind of unmulliganed. I could have theoretically attacked with the Florahedron too. I think I should have. We're at 7 cards in the graveyard, so that'll get turned on, just not yet. I haven't seen this in blue-green before. That's interesting. So they will be able to block with this dude next turn. They can't now. I think that means we draw here. Because I can play this guy anyway, so it's not hurting me. Well, that's going to be more interesting after some stuff dies anyway. Because I can play the Dreadworm and then happily sack the Florahedron, and I don't need it anymore. Crap. I made a big mistake. Don't notice. Hallelujah. I made a big mistake. There's a pretty compelling reason not to sacrifice that first, but I'm bad. Yeah, they made a bigger mistake, so I'm pretty happy about that. This is where I feel like we may get outvalued here. Yeah, they must have thought I had something, but I didn't. This is enough to kill him next turn. Which at least puts the pressure on that they can't just kick this. I wanted him to have the opportunity to sacrifice the nectar pot before I played the menace creature. Because they're kind of just dead now. I think this means we go for it. That was a tough one. If they didn't screw up as bad as I did, I think we were in trouble. You know what's interesting about their creatures? Literally everything they cast dies to this wrath. I think I'd like to have that in my list. Now, I know a lot of my stuff dies too, but all of their stuff dies. Like, they didn't play anything that doesn't die to that. So we might be able to find a world where that's useful. I'm not getting as much value out of Subtle Strike in this match either, because it's a decent combat trick, but I don't know that I can get that aggro on them here. It kills a bunch of my stuff too, so we'll have to be careful when we play it, but I'm fine with that. I do think I like the Dreadworm at least as good as the Aesthetic, so we don't need to make that swap here. I'm kind of interested in the Sky Dancer too, but I don't need it. They didn't show me any 3/2s. Blue usually has the 3/2 wizards, but yeah, it hits every single card they played. It's like if we draw it and we're a parity or ahead, we just won't play it. Like there's a possibility it could be quite good for us. Okay, that's pretty good. I'll still have attacks against it though. And we can draw removal spells, for example, but I don't really want to trade this for that, but at this point, I kind of need to send in things that pressure the crab. Because they got us on a real clock here. They're going to trade these off, so I may as well have this growing too. It's a frustrating way to lose. Well, that's not too shabby, is it? I'm trying to decide if there's a world where they block with the crab if I send this. Because if there's not, I should just subtle strike and get my damage in now. There's a possibility. Okay. That kind of sucks, but we've shown that they're a coward, and I'd still rather have this in play. Like, this is likely to get milled, but if it doesn't, I'm okay drawing it too. I guess there's one more card for them to have to mill through. It also means as long as I hold this, I could conceivably upkeep it. And not get milled out. Like, it would buy me one turn. Which we're going to need. We've got 8 cards left. Well, maybe I don't have to care about it so much now. Let's not get milled out. Lowers that mill just a little bit more. And with the land, I can put it back again. So I think we've gotten like 3 anti-mills from the skeleton. This would be our 4th. Still lethal. It's a tiny cat, but it's still lethal. That's pretty good for them. That's gonna be real good for them. Have they killed my constrictor yet? Because that's probably my out. Constrictor's not been milled. You gotta stop it, buddy. You gotta stop it. Because this is not good enough for me. Whew, lordy. I think they got me. It could happen. It ain't bloody likely. We would normally have outs in this scenario. We don't currently because they've also milled the Arbor Mage, right? Yeah, I thought I saw him go in there. So Arbor Mage isn't helping us, and these lands aren't. So the only thing not scooping here does is let them see the bottom three cards. They have got us. We are milled out. It sucks. I will scoop to that on the stack. I'm still going to swing team because, like, I'm not a coward. And they should still be a little bit afraid of Might Marasa, but I obviously don't have that. I think we're in a lot better shape on the play if we can have a semi-adjacent good hand. Because I've got more ways to deal with the crab than they have crabs. That game went on long enough. Doesn't feel like they have a lot of ways to interact in the sky. They kind of don't. I mean, it is an amount of pressure. I don't know what I'd cut for it. I could cut one of the bright blades. That makes our punches a little worse. But they're mostly there for blocking. I don't hate that. I'm sorry Prime Day was a disappointment, but let us remember the sacrifice of Optimus Prime so that we can celebrate Prime Day. No, I still needed to make the other dude do the stuff, Bob. I can't attack with this because I'm cold to a crab. Okay, they don't have the dude. Or they're selling me a line. But I think they don't have it. It skipped through too fast. I don't think I want that trade. Give me something to play next turn. I appreciate that. stupid crab. I still need that land because if I draw a swamp, I can get a double spell, which I would like very much. I think we just play patient here. Because this should leave him dead next turn. Yeah, this is basically perfect. Well, I can't cast both of my black spells, which I want to. It's still good enough. They have to make this trade if I attack. And I should have enough to kill him next turn anyway. I guess that's the only real downside, but I can still get some damage in next turn at least. Yeah, Veil's kind of rough for us there, but not the end of the world. If I subtle strike this, it kind of runs away with the game, but they have to block it anyway. I don't think I need to use it here. It just runs me into like trouble with a bounce spell. Because it's just as lethal next turn. Alright, that works too. That was a tough one. Like, the crab was good when they had it, and not great when they didn't. Such as the natures of crab. Although we got to eat a lot of crab. Just need some drawn butter. Let's do our battle while we wait. I think there's enough of us that we got this. Yeah, there's 143 of us against 44 plants and piters. We should pretty easily have that. Get smashed plants. We're at the beginning of this map too, so the first fights are always pretty easy. We're almost through the story for the Odyssey. All right, we've got AGL with the kills, Simwife with the assists, a captain's chest for ye all, scrolls for Wallet and Grumpy, gold for Orcish. And we're going to keep on trucking so we can hit this blue chest. Yeah, we'll get to the boss chest. Don't you worry. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right, one more round for the YouTubes. Let's see if we can get them a 3-0, because I think I've posted 2 0-2s in a row, which is not exactly what I'd like to show off. Like, hey guys, watch my YouTube videos, and you can come to the stream and see me lose too. Like, this is not so good. I'm so used to having the 1-1 in the opener, I was kind of surprised I didn't. Strong start. We could upgrade this to a 3-1, but something tells me it might get better. Man, that's kind of awkward because the Hagrid Constrictor is pretty good here too. So I think I'm going to lead with that. Because that gets me into this turn and to next turn. And I think that whatever they play next is probably going to be well, okay, it's not going to be better. I was hoping they'd play the 3-2 and the sacrifice would actually be a difficult decision for them. It does not look like that's going to be the case. But I'm going to just keep going with my counters. Dang it, Bobby. All right, we would take this trade. Not that one, this one. Hey, I told you we'd get a core celebrant with it, didn't I? Why do you want me to block? You've got +2/+2? Maybe party tactics? If it's party tactics, it's going to get me when I attack too. Might just be seeing if I'm a coward. That's fair too. Isn't the 1/4 the best common creature for white-black clerics? You need to have both, but the 1/4 is obviously a little better, but you do need to have both. I can hold one land in case they hit a Mind Rot. I don't think we're just going to draw straight lands until we kick Vastwood Surge. I reckon we should probably take these out. Like, it's a key part of this deck, and it lets me keep applying some pressure. Not a lot, but some. We're no longer playing around a mine rot by holding that. And I think this was my only landfall that we would really want to be hitting. No, okay, I was going to say no subtle strike, please. We're one away from kicking this. All right, I guess that's my plan now. Not saying it's a great plan, but we've been murdering a bunch of clerics. So I guess this is what we're doing. Should have attacked last turn, I'm bad. Or I was playing around party tactics, your choice. This is a lot of land. We're going to need some action now, please. This is where something like Blood Beckoning would be really nice. There's a possibility I can get them if we just draw big dudes. But if they're main decking Smite, that may not even be an answer. I got clerics too. What's up? Mine's bigger. You got small cleric energy. I got big cleric energy. Well, feeling a little bound up. May need to take our Metamucil. I might splash a disenchant against them just to be able to get rid of that. These bindings. So with 2 bindings, it's going to have targets. They might even have a relic vial in here. Yeah, you want a combination of these because this is how you actually close out a game with clerics. This is a good cleric deck. I don't love the Blood Priest that much in cleric decks. We're just dead here, right? I -1 that. Yeah, we're just dead. I don't love the Blood Priest in cleric decks. I like it a little more in Black-Red Party, but it's still a good card. So Subtle Strike's going to be pretty good here. I am halfway serious about splashing that Disenchant. Because like it wants me to bring in a Roiling Regrowth, which I kind of already want to play. And then I just get a free unlock one of my dudes. The Verdict kills all of their stuff too. So I think I want the Verdict too. So we're gonna make some pretty big changes here. I don't think I need the Worm. I sort of want the Sentinel. I don't want the Sentinel. I don't want the Sentinel. All right, on the play, I think we trim the supplies. And a Subtle Strike. Even though it is pretty good here. I still want the supplies. I need a little bit of card advantage in this matchup. Well, in all of my matchups. Welcome to Zendikar. I could consider the Sky Dancer, but the 2 points of damage is far less relevant against this opponent than it was the last one. They've got at least 3 life-gaining clerics. Like, that's not the way to do this. Obviously, we're going to put in a Plains, too. I hope we don't forget that. Like, that seems like pretty important. But I'd still like to make one more cut. The Survivor may be the cut. Or just one of these dudes. It's like I don't need them to enable Rabid Bite here. Everything enables Rabid Bite against little clerics. Let's see how crazy this is. It might be a little crazy. Eh, not like this. Not like this. Yeah, we're not racing the 1/4s. So the answer is to like establish big board presence and take out chunks, not try to like deal 2 damage a turn. I don't think. This has got to be a mole. It's unfortunate. And this has got to be a keep. It's also kind of unfortunate. Because it's not great, but it's got some potential. I can out token them if we can hit our lands. I kind of need 2 lands and we're good to go. I also really don't want to turn 3 this, but kept a 1-lander, huh? I can respect it. Yeah, I don't want to run this out this early, but I kind of have to. Because if I can draw another land in Vastwood Surge, we're good to go. Like I said, good to go. Yeah, they've even got 2/1s of their own, so like I'm not really doing anything against that. That does kind of make me want the Sentinel. Like it blocks a lot of their stuff fine. We could maybe play a Zendikar. I just don't have any lands I want to bounce back, which is really where that starts to shine. Like it's kind of just an arbitrarily large and bad creature. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to rule the air and just sweep them if I can. And I don't think I want to fiddle with it any more than that. All right, we can play with this. I'm not entirely sure I want to just fire off the same line again. It is basically auto win if they don't have a removal spell. Yeah, show me you got a removal spell. Because 2 of their removal spells are pacifism. They've got to have a hard removal here. Okay, which they have. That just means we keep playing Magic. Because when we win the game on the spot otherwise. I could have gotten a free token off of it if I was more patient, but I don't feel the need to be particularly patient. ROUSs? Huh. Well, that sucks. I was using those. But we hadn't seen that from them in 2 games. I wonder if they brought it in for me. If they did, it was a really good sideboard choice. Because the way they lose is big creatures, so hitting me with that's probably going to be a good idea. That could be quite good for us, given the fullness of time. I'm going to be greedy here and not play around another Mind Rot, because I don't think they have one. But it does not kill this. It does kill this and these. So we let them spew out a few more cards. We can get a lot of value off of this verdict. I'm going to hold the regrowth, because I do still have some landfall dudes. And I'm going to hold this too, just in case they have another Mind Rot. Because this is our plan now. Trade these two off is also a pretty big part of the plan. That's going to be a problem. It's going to be a huge problem. I need a hard removal spell now. Because theirs is better. That means we do Roiling Regrowth here, because all of a sudden, I need every card that's not an answer to that out of this deck immediately. This having Menace is also a bit of a problem. All right, it's just, can we draw a removal spell for this? I really don't want to use Shadow's Verdict and have Moss Pit Skeleton in hand. So I'm going to try one more time to top deck our Deadly Alliance, because I can just double block this, top deck Deadly Alliance, we're back in the game. Deadly Alliance off the top. Pulls. I think I take this. I'm dead next turn if I don't top deck a removal spell. That'll do, pig. That having Menace dang near kills me, so I'm past the point where I can try to cheese more value out of my Shadow's Verdict. Which sucks, but like we're very close to dead here. I need them to play a bunch of creatures that don't do anything. That doesn't count. Okay, back in it. Back in it. Because again, the only thing that matters is this guy. We got to stop that guy. We stop that guy, we can win. Because we're not going to die to some random top deck. It's not like you can put Lava Axe in your black-white deck. I was so smart with my sideboarding decisions. I wanted a 3-0 for YouTube. No. No. F's in chat, please. Alrighty, YouTube. If you have enjoyed watching this and would like to know how to draft decks that can 0-2 or go 2-1, please stop by the Twitch stream at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube, but don't worry, we'll be drafting more on stream right now. That's not a bad finish. And I do think we made the right calls there with bringing in the Disenchant and the sideboard. The only real question is, like, should I have been that aggressive with the Swarm? And I still feel pretty comfortable that putting them on a hard removal spell when we know at least 2 of their removals are pacifisms is the right call. Alrighty. Thank you, YouTube. Bye-bye.